In life, there's so many questions that'll always be unanswered, but it's up to us just to live life one day at a time. I know that some days might not be the greatest, but the complete set of life is to genuinely just be there. Every day, people aren't who they really are. They don't show their true selves. They don't show who they actually are. They have usually just a script, and they indoctrinate, whatever they do, they become. They indoctrinate what they become, or whatever. And it just sucks because you don't get the real out of people. And it's just weird talking to people, man, because I don't know, it's always like they're trying to poke fun at everything sometimes, but I mean, none of it's funny what they're saying, and I mean, that's them trying to be real, like when they're trying to poke fun at things, that's them trying to be real, but they're not used to being themselves, so it's kind of like comes off as awkward, and it's just like the scenario you're in is just, you want to be the realest person you can be, but there's so much that's holding you back. There's the fear of what people are thinking of you. There's the fear of what there's the fear of being recorded. There's the fear of backlash of what you have to say. Like, it's not normal nowadays anymore to just be yourself. There's always cameras. There's always people talking behind your back, people lying about things, and it's just like, can I just get the realness out of someone? Or not the realness, can I just get like a genuine interaction for once, It's like you want to be nice to people just because of the fact that and you don't know how to feel any other way. Sometimes you want to be mean to someone because you really don't like them, but I don't even know where I'm going. See, my thoughts are just jumbled around all over the place sometimes because of the society that we live in. But I've realized that the more and more I come out into nature, the more and more I actually genuinely live for myself, the more I feel at peace. But with that, the more you feel at peace, the more you feel like you wish you could share that with someone. Like, genuinely, I wish I could tell people, like, hey man, come outside, just chill, look up at the trees, and you'll just feel at home. Like, you'll just feel peaceful. And just be outside. Like, it's the same thing with how I've been eating, though. Like, I've been eating way healthier the past year and a half. Actually, like, few years now. Honestly, I've been eating like extremely healthy, and I just wish I could convince people to also eat healthy too, because I've been telling all my friends and family that, yeah, like, make sure you watch out with what you eat, because a lot of the stuff is bad for you. It even says in the Bible, talks about food and to watch out what you eat. Something about a king, and like you don't know what you got to watch what you're putting in your mouth, because it might be just something like awful. But I just wish people would understand like what food is gonna do to them in the future. It's like smoking a cigarette. Like, you don't know the severity of it until it's too late, until you're dying of lung cancer, or you're on a respirator. And there was this one lady who came into the store, and she told me, like, don't smoke, like, this is what happens when you smoke. And her husband had only a year left to live because he was dying of I forgot what it was, but she just told me that he couldn't really breathe properly, so he needed this oxygen tank to take him around. He said he's reaping the consequences, basically, of all that smoking. And it had me thinking, like, in a few years, a lot of people are going to reap the consequences, or reap what they sow with all that food that they've been eating. And man, it just sucks, because you could help people and you could guide them in all the right ways, but what they feel as comfortable, they just can't go any other direction. And it just sucks. Like, there's a huge world out there where you could conquer, you could travel, adventure, and people don't know. Like, truthfully, you could have the most fun, have the greatest life, if you just get out there, connect with people, become who you really are meant to be. We don't just find ourselves from sitting around at the table watching TV while we eat. We don't. And we're sitting on our phones, glued to our phones, just living each day as is. Man, I need to change myself too, because I'd be stuck on my phone looking at it when I could be either getting some sleep or genuinely learning, like reading a book, being outside, making more connections with people. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. I'm learning each day to be a better me, better individual. It's hard to say, like, why people are the way they are, but I mean, I see a lot of people saying it is what it is, but like, sometimes you gotta make it what it is. You gotta really put yourself out there and make it what it is, because it could be the worst day of your life. Well, go out there and make it the best. It's not the worst day, it's the worst time. And you could change time all you want. Like, and what I mean by that is, you could change the time that you have ahead of yourself, not the time behind you. That worst time you had is done and over with. So you got to continue and make the best of the other time that you got. And it's crazy because not many people allow themselves to be okay with that time that they have. They let that whole time in the past ruin their entire day. So what you gotta do is you gotta just stop and think, like, hey man, I know that kind of ruined me for the moment, but go ahead and talk about it, write it down, and just think like it wasn't nothing. Because you can't just sweep it under the rug and say, hey, it is what it is. You gotta sweep it up and understand what it really is, and throw that thing away. Because once it's gone and over with, then you're back to your game. You're back to your usual. And man, if people really digested what they thought about and just threw it away and just thought, yeah, it's nothing, then they would be so much better off, because more days would be productive, more people would be positive about things, because when you're around a negative person, you kind of get that negativity. And so when everyone's just positive and like uplifting, then you get that too. You feel that, so that your day isn't just ruined like theirs. And there's a lot of people out there who actually have bad days and they just be positive about it, but they still are hurting bad. But I mean, it happens, man. Those people are the best people because they want others to feel good. But sometimes that isn't the right thing. Like, you gotta understand that this life is really short, and of course you gotta live it for others to make them happy, but you gotta make sure you're okay too. Because if you're not okay, then who's to say you'll be around? Who's to say you'll stick around for the people who've been loving you this whole time and they didn't know that bad stuff was happening? So you just always got to be okay. You got to figure out your problems, like I was saying. Dang. Honestly, I'll have like good stories to tell in the future to come, because I'll actually be adventuring, I'll be doing stuff, and I'll be making a life. Because right now, at the moment, I'm just working and just going through the motions, and it's not good. I don't like that. I like to be creative, I like to paint, I like to draw, I like to have fun with my friends and stuff like that, you know. I like to really work out and get the most of life, but it's not like that at the moment, unfortunately. And you know, it sucks because I'm not built for all this different energy that's coming around, this negative, all this kind of controlling people, and this job, you know. It's not right. But slowly but surely, everything will change and be for the better.